Welcome to the 3D Print Entrepreneur Podcast, hosted by Print That Thing, where we help you become a 3D print designer. I'm your host, Jay Wall, and today's episode, we're going to be talking to Nikolas from Polymaker.com. Polymaker is a 3D print materials company that sells some of the highest quality filaments available on the market. We had a great chat with Nikolas about their newest material, Poryterra PLA. We also chatted about Polymaker's goals to be more eco-friendly within their industry with their green project. Before we dive into the interview, let's get a quick word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Print That Thing, an educational platform that helps you become a 3D print designer within 30 days. We provide easy to digest lessons that compound so you can learn fast. Sure, you can learn 3D print design on YouTube, but we teach a unique and flexible workflow not found anywhere else. You'll learn by doing, while creating 10 unique designs, giving you a strong foundation to get you 3D printing your own ideas. If you want to unleash your superpower of 3D print design, become a member at ptt.live for designs, courses, and community. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Today we have a very awesome guest. This is Nikolas from Polymaker. And so what's up? What's up, Nikolas?
Hey, good.
Hey,
Good
so
to,
yeah, thanks for meeting with you. He's all the way in China. So it's like, what, 8 o'clock p.m. there?
8 p.m. Yeah.
Yes, thanks for meeting with me. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of just talk about this new filament that you guys got. What is the new filament you guys are working on right now?
We just released our Poryterra PLA. That's the one you've been testing. So how is it so far?
I love it. I really do. I actually bought some more because you sent me 2 or 3 rolls and I bought some more. But this stuff is amazing, guys and girls. If you haven't tried it, it's incredible. It's like an eco plastic, plus the spool is 3D printable and it's matte. It's really easy to print and it's super strong. So I'm not really into like a lot of the tech side. I'm more like the artist side, but I am falling in love with this. Like, this is all I kind of want to use right now. So thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So kind of tell us real quick how you got started with Polymaker and then how this new type of filament started coming about, this project.
Yeah, of course. So my story with Polymaker is basically, I think it's 5 years ago. Yeah, well, time passed very fast. 5 or 6 years ago, I actually started a company with 2 friends where we actually made 3D printed mask.
Really?
So we have started this company last year, but basically, yeah, we were making 3D printed masks. And we actually won a prize at Bayer. So we went to Germany for 5 months, working in their offices, developing the project, developing 3D printed masks. Unfortunately, that project didn't work out. The market was not really ready at that time. Sounds like it's more ready now.
Yeah, definitely. Probably too. It's saturated probably now, huh?
Yeah, and so actually, Polymaker was sponsoring this application. And so after the project finished, I just became a 3D printing engineer because I was introduced to a lot of Polymaker products. So at the end of the day, I just became one of their engineers. And from then, I just, worked my way through the different steps, 3D printing engineers, then assistant product manager, and now more on the business side, but still printing on my free time.
That's awesome. So that's great. Are you a designer too, or are you mainly are you finding designs and then printing those?
Yeah, I'm also a designer. Actually,
cool.
On Thingiverse, I actually have all my toys. So I design like small animals.
I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Yeah. It's called,
dude, you got to send me a link later. Send me a link later to that. I want to check it out and print some.
For sure. So
okay.
Actually, it's used in Africa. They are putting these small toys in soap, so that it kind of an incentive for kids to use the soap and then get the toy inside it.
Oh my gosh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, so I do design. I use Blender actually, and I've seen you have a lot of Blender courses.
Yes, dude, I'll get you in. Like, I want to get you set up with some of our courses too. I didn't know you did Blender and design. This is blowing my mind. This is like so cool.
Yeah. Blend. Actually, the mask that we were designing at that time, this is how I, starting learning with Blender. It's kind of a steep curve at the beginning.
Yeah.
But the community is just amazing.
It really is. It's all about community.
Yeah. I like with both 3D printing and Blender, it's just the community behind. So,
yep, and it's all open. Well,
Exactly.
yeah. Well, how did Polyterra come about? Like, how long have y'all been working on that? Because I know when you sent it to me, you were like, "It's coming out in a month. It's gonna be awesome." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool! I'm so excited!" Like, I was. So, tell us kind of how it all came about.
Yeah. So it's 1 year and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 year and a half ago, we had a meeting to, when you build, Polymaker is quite new, right? We founded in 2012, but we really started business in 2013.
Gotcha.
And when you start a business, it's very difficult to take in account, environmental friendly at the same time as, building the business, trying to kick off like a sustainable business. But 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, or 2 years ago, we decided that now it's the time that, we think a little bit more on how to make the company more sustainable, because we did have a base business.
Mhm.
So we thought, that's the time where we can start to compromise and start building our R&D towards, something more sustainable. So that's
Beautiful.
how, so internally we call this the green projects. So Polyterra is just like a very small part from green project, but there's a lot of things that, we do internally as well. When
Mhm.
you clean all the machine, we try to do it in a different way now. All the logistic is the same, how we manage our different process. So all of this internally, we could just call it green project.
Green project. I love that. So, well, hopefully, because when you guys started coming out with this, I was like, man, I really hope like, well, one, I just love that you guys are doing it, but two, I feel like you guys maybe had like helping other companies be like, oh yeah, maybe we should think about that too. So I think that's cool that you guys are like kind of taking charge. So congrats on
Yeah,
that and thank you. I
yeah,
think
that's
we've
also,
been wanting this. I think the 3D print industry's been even just cardboard spools. I mean, it's like how long did it take? I don't know. It's just great.
and as we still consider ourselves as part of the company that is leading in terms of filaments, and we are not the first one doing carton spool for sure.
Right, right.
But as a company that is part of the leaders, we wanted to follow the right example, and we hope to bring more company with it. So and the same for the material side, because this is just the packaging, but the material, our R&D, I mean, Polymaker is more known for all the engineering material. So we were
Mm-hmm.
thinking, what if we put more R&D resources in developing something for consumers and more environmental friendly? And then
Definitely.
that's how the material came out.
So like right now, no, that's amazing. What I noticed that the only thing that seems not biodegradable, or I guess, is the plastic that it comes in eventually. Is there a way? Do you think there's ways to kind of remedy that or make that more
Yeah.
earth friendly?
Actually,
Like
I
later?
will. Yeah, I will. I will actually give you a small secret. Do you
Oh,
know?
okay.
That actually the plastic bag that comes, so it's a nylon bag,
Mhm.
and from our testing, whether we put a nylon bag or we don't put one, it almost doesn't matter. So at the
Oh,
moment, the plastic bag is more on a consumer perception. When they receive, if there is no bag, then they will directly think about it's a bad product.
right. It's got moisture in it. It's like, yeah. I have it. I've had rolls of this in I have like a little camper with 5 printers out there, and there is some moisture that just kind of happens sometimes. And this stuff's still rocking great. Like even around moisture, it's still printing really, really good.
Yeah. So there is, there is like product, like the real technology behind the product and the real, scientific data, and there's also consumer perception. And when you do business, you have to take both into account. So that's something we have to solve in both ways. We need to either find a plastic that is more environmental friendly. So there is some PLA, PBAT plastic that we could use. It's more expensive, but it's a
Right.
good company. Or we have to maybe find ways to more educate people on the other side. There
Yeah.
is some companies that actually only put a film of plastic. I think, was
Oh, I
it
know. Kind of like
with
saran wrap.
yeah, the carton spool, and then they just put plastic wrap. They don't vacuum, and which is great because they don't use so much plastic, and because
Right.
it doesn't really, it's not very useful, or at least from what we have found.
Right. That could be a cool way to go. And we didn't even talk about price. This filament, I think it has an amazing price point. It's only $20 or $19.99. And if you stay to the end, I'll give you a coupon code so you can get even more of a discount. But I mean, what a great price point. Also, like, and we haven't even talked about one of the biggest perks, which is whenever you buy a spool, you guys teamed up with One Tree Planted, right? That company. And so they're
Right.
going to plant a tree every time you buy a spool. So tell us a little bit about that, or how you guys got teamed up with them.
Yeah, definitely. So on the material side, we really put R&D. We really put a lot of pressure. We went with big requirements. How can we make a material that is more environmental friendly and has great colors and is cheap? And that's,
Yeah.
R&D spent at least the first 6 months just brainstorming on what would be the raw material, what would be, the different formula we can put into it. So they did an amazing job. And then they end up with one formula, which we actually use external testing.
Mhm.
So, we send to different people in the community to, start giving feedback. Then they give us feedback and we started this iteration. So that was on the material side, how to use less plastic and make better printability, which at the beginning we thought, that's such a big project.
It is.
But they did it. And then on
Ah,
the packaging side, we're thinking, okay, now we are using PC spool, PS spool. You know, we had a lot of feedback about the plastic spool, and we really need to do something. And we're thinking, okay, now it's time to go full carton. And then we were thinking, because actually it's very, very hard to find a carton spool that
oh,
is
is
cheap.
it? Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Well, this one doesn't feel cheap. Like, it feels great. Like, I love the thickness of it and everything.
Definitely. So that was the pressure. So we just talked about the pressure on the R&D, and then that was the pressure on our supply chain. How
Wow.
the current spool made from recycled material, how to find a box which is lighter than our box, and all of this not being more expensive than what we have now. And and finally we were thinking, okay, we did all of this. Then we calculated the carbon footprints. We actually did some work with NatureWorks as well, because we are using their InGeo PLA, and they did,
Ah,
they have a lot of knowledge about all of this, and they are also very environmental friendly oriented.
beautiful.
And then we finally think, okay, we need to add one more things that would make the product perfect. And then we found One Tree Planted. I did have two meetings with them. We wanted people to feel that they are making something for their environment. So that was the one of the association that could plant in many, many different regions, so that we could plan exactly where people were buying. So that was,
Yes.
that's the story behind this product.
Wow. And
And
that's so crazy. Like, because on our side, on the consumer side, we don't even think like about that. We're just like, oh, I just want the filament. But like, there's so much that you guys put into this just to get it off the ground. Like, I love that. That's so cool. Like, even, I mean, that was like, just like you were saying, like, just we need that one more thing. Like, whenever I saw that in the PDF that you sent me, I was just like, this is crazy. Cause I lived in the forest for a long time. I love that. So just being able to know that like your hobby is helping the environment in some way, because there is a plastic problem. I mean, let's be real. So that's part of my dream as for Print That Thing, is to help with that kind of closing the loop. What do you think the future of like filament plastics, or like, where do you think we're headed? Any predictions in the next 5-10 years?
yeah, so in terms of material, that's a very good question. We did some work on, for example, this eco-friendly material, but I still want to highlight that it's still very difficult to actually compost PLA at let's say industrial level. Um,
Okay, good to know.
made a step towards helping going that way, but we haven't reached that point where you can just throw this in the trash and it will be recycled or it will be composed. So it's just one way to, because right now industrial composting facility, they still need the PLA to compost at a certain rate in
Right.
order to take it, and they also need to have a certain ratio between their food waste and the PLA. So we're still far from that. So my hope is that, not only on the material side, but only, the recycling facilities and,
Mm,
all the system, all the life basically of the plastic is going to follow what the material science is giving us at the moment. We do a lot of research, and I hope, that extends to the end point.
definitely. So everything's going to have to evolve and just kind of keep evolving together.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
Okay, man, that's so cool. I'm excited. Like this gets me really excited. I remember being really sad one night. I like called Amber and I was like, oh man, I feel so bad. Like I'm helping people like make plastic things, but knowing that there can be a future, or there should be a future, or hopefully we're going in that direction of like making something that either we're recycling the old plastic or making, and while making a new type of material that's maybe not a plastic. Like that's exciting. So I think
Yes.
even the listeners too.
Yeah, and we actually have a product coming. I cannot tell too much
Oh
about it.
yeah.
It's definitely going this way. Like I said, I cannot say
Cool.
too much.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's
maybe we can talk once you guys launch it. We can jump back on another podcast. I would love to hear more about that.
it will
So
actually be presented very quickly at TCT Asia. So 27th of May, my birthday actually.
hey,
Yeah, we will present that product very very quickly just at TCT.
cool.
But it will be launched after summer.
Wow, this year. Okay, that's exciting. That's really cool. Well,
Yeah.
good luck with that. I can't wait to hear about that. So what would you say to anyone who wants to make either 3D print design their full-time career or like start their own filament company? Like what is there any advice you would give to somebody who kind of wants to go that route?
Yeah, definitely. So for design, I would say, if I would have to say one advice would be to learn the different manufacturing process. It's very important. I still see some people that kind of force 3D printing. I want to use 3D printing, but sometimes we just have to realize that there is some processes that are just way better. But it's important to understand where 3D printing becomes, the manufacturing process we have to go for. And I think for a designer, it's important to know, understand, what 3D printing is used for. Thermoforming is for what, injection molding is for what, CNC, whatever axis is for what. So I think, an idea to be a good designer my meaning is for real product, right?
Right. Oh, me too. Yeah, totally. Like
Yeah.
sellable products. Yes.
So that would be the idea, learn about manufacturing process and, what geometry goes with what. And I think that can really help into not only designing, but also, if you do start a company that is designing, then you can really bring the advice that your customer needs.
To take to complete, just to go to the whole life cycle of the product. Yeah, I think that's something I need to work on a lot, because mainly I'm just using 3D printers, but I was trying to think of a way to like, maybe I can prototype something and then it's small enough to get injection molded. But then I ran into the problem, like the way I designed it, it couldn't be injection molded. So it was like, oh, this kind of conundrum. So I do need to, I think all of us can research more about the different type of outputs or production qualities. That's great advice. Thank you. I also want to show anyone, if you guys want to purchase some of this filament and test it out, where's the best place for them to go do that?
Yeah, so if they are based in the US or Europe, our website is the best, just polymaker.com.
Okay.
Europe, if they want like faster shipping, we do have, many channels in Europe, which they can find on the website. Just find a reseller tab. And anywhere else, we actually have channels almost everywhere.
Wow.
You're in Japan, in Australia, you're in China, you are in Africa. We have channels everywhere.
That's beautiful.
So on our website, there's a list of all the resellers.
Okay, cool. Polymaker.com. And they've got tons of cool colors. I actually printed this thing the other day for our workshop class. This is just a low poly vase with the matte PLA Polyterra. It's incredible. It has such a nice feel. So also, if you want to get a discount, you can use the coupon code PTT3D at polymaker.com, and that'll give you $2 off. So you can get this filament for like $17.99, I think, or something ridiculous. And I highly recommend it. But Nikolas, that's all I have for you. Do you have any questions for us or anything?
Not really. Like I said, I'm really glad you are also using Blender, and you're also, part of this community, and you are helping connecting people. You are helping new people that are joining the community. This is what I love about 3D printing, is the community. The technology, of course. I'm really interested. I'm not sure if you have seen the last video from 3D Print General, where
I'll check it out.
Of the material science. I love the technology, but the community comes first.
I agree. I mean, that's literally what's on my board right here is community. Like I want to build a community for pro 3D print designers, like of the next level of designers. So, and I'm so excited you do Blender, dude. That I really want to talk to you more about that. I had no idea before this call. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. I know you got other meetings and stuff to go to, but I really appreciate you jumping on the call with us today and just talking about this. I think people are going to love hearing kind of more of the story of how this kind of all evolved.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for listening with us today. And again, thanks to Nikolas for sharing with us his knowledge of Polymaker and their goals with high quality materials for the 3D print industry. You can get $2 off anything at polymaker.com by using the coupon code PTT3D. Be sure to check in next week. We're going to be talking to the 3D printing guru, Thomas Comer. He's a super popular 3D print TikToker who got his start selling customizable keychains. He has some great insight into 3D printing education, ASMR, and influencer tips. While you wait for the next episode, remember to get yourself a Print That Thing membership at ptt.live so you can start 3D printing your own ideas. Come on, people, what are you waiting for? Let's do it. I'm Jay Wall, and as always, keep creating.